Welcome to Impact Wrestling. Now, I may not make this very long and I may not insert any images. I got a lot of congestion. It's giving me a bit of a headache. I did take some medicine, but I may make this short. I may not go through absolutely everything here. So I hope you don't mind no images if I don't put any in. And it might be shorter than normal, which usually is not. It's like 30 minutes at least. But I'm going to try and make this short because I want to get some sleep. You look at this Impact. We got like 2 weeks left before the end of this year. And since they're not that close to Christmas or New Year, you wonder if they're going to give us some more content than they normally do. They are going to do a regular show this Thursday coming. I don't know about before New Year's. I think they'll do the recap. They may do that. But we got one more episode of Impact where they're going to build something going into next year. But I'm like here in this show, and it's not the title. Really? I have to say it. If you think, dude, why are you complaining? Why are you saying really for? Like, with an attitude. Well, it's not a bad show. And I'm going like this. You're seeing it as a fan. I'm seeing it not just as a fan, but also as a reviewer who has to cut it and break it into pieces so it makes sense to not just myself, but to you. And I'm really going like, really? For some of the segments that happened and the wrestling that happened, really? This is what we get before the end of the year. Some of this, I'm wondering, why wasn't it done on Impact Plus? Or why? Why wasn't some of these things done for Impact Plus ahead of time? You didn't have to do this here. To be honest, I kind of wanted to see more of the Impact Provincial Wrestling Federation, which is supposed to happen. I thought they were trying to tease it, and we get this show, which really you didn't need. Now, maybe next week they will be doing that, but I don't think so. I don't think they're going to do it for New Year's either. So we only get it once a year, and they tease that they're going to do it, and they're not. And I'm like, really? All right, let's start. The match was supposed to close last week because what happened with Josh Alexander and Speedball was actually a very good match. It was a damn good, even though it was botchy, it was a good match. I will not take that away from them. There was some botches from Speedball. There was some botches from Josh. And it looked pretty nasty, but they were all right. But it was still sloppy in certain cases. But it was a damn good match for Impact Wrestling. One of the way better matches they had throughout the year. But we get Eddie Edwards versus Delirious. Now, I did not know they were working in Pro Wrestling Noah together at one point. That is Delirious and Eddie Edwards. And I did not know they had a very strong history. It's one of the things that it's hard to know when you're looking at one product and either you can't get the other product because I couldn't see Pro Wrestling Noah. One, I don't speak Japanese. And two, at the time when they were in there, I didn't have any type of internet that could actually access that type of information. Yes, you're going to say, wait, what are you talking about? No internet. You had that internet. When you're living in New York and on a very, very tight budget where you're paying child support and paying back student loans still, I didn't make that much money. All I had was antenna before they did the change over to digital. That's it. And looking at DVDs. That's all I had. I had to pay, well, actually, I should take that back. I had to pay my own bills. Then I had to pay back a student loan. Then also on top of that, on my back was 17% of child support. That is a lot for one person to have on their damn back. And you can't pay it all back at once, so something had to be cut. So no internet or interweb. So what do we have here in this match? It was an okay match. I'm not saying it was bad, it wasn't. Delirious is a good wrestler, but it really does look weird with him being barefoot. It doesn't mean it's bad, it's just seeing a nutty guy being barefoot like that, you're going like, I'm hoping he doesn't break his toes trying to look nuts in the ring. But the match was fine, and in the end, what did we get? We get Eddie winning with Delirious put him into a submission. I can't remember what it was called. And Eddie realized he was trapped, so he did a roll-up and jammed himself on the mat with Delirious under him, and he got it that way. Fine. It's not something that hasn't been done. It's all right. Delirious then, he spoke to him like a friend, and he wanted to shake his hand. Shook his hand, raised his hand in solidarity. In other words, with respect. I don't know if I got a shot of it, and I don't even know if I'm going to do it. But clearly, he gets nailed afterward, gets laid out after that, and then what was the guy's name? Uemura, I believe that's his name, had been tagging with Delirious on BTI, which I don't watch, and he tried to save him and couldn't. And Eddie decided, because he really wanted to insult to injury to Delirious, he's trying to remove his mask. And then you hear music, and you wonder, oh, is that PCO? No. It's a returning Jonathan Gresham. Now, mind you, understand this. I like Jonathan Gresham. I actually do like him. Guy can wrestle really damn good, and he's not a bad talker. But here's a problem for me personally. It's not the point that he's seen, because he did get nailed by Honor No More. I can understand why he went there. But what happened to PCO? They showed him sticking his hand out of the dirt. He wasn't dead. Where is he? What happened to PCO? What happened to that storyline with Eddie and PCO where it wasn't supposedly over? So they completely trash PCO and do this. Now, maybe PCO's contract was up. Supposedly he got signed. Or maybe he got hurt. Or maybe it's something else. Kind of like what happened with AEW and Miro. That pretty much they told him to stay home. We don't have anything for you right now. I'm not telling you that happened. It could be. But where's PCO? I'm going like, what? It's understandable with Jonathan. But there was supposed to be something before that. And they didn't finish it with PCO in some match that's supposed to really end it. I'm just saying. Now, Bully Ray versus John Skyler. We got a very short match. Skyler basically jobbed as a jobber can job. He jobbed his livered ass off for a Bully Ray. It wasn't long. It was short. And in the end, he wins and makes Bully Ray look like a damn monster. But as you saw during the show, you had that little segment between Josh, Scott, and Tommy, where Tommy's trying to apologize to John. And, well, not John, but, you know, the reason I'm botched here is because of this. This is what I kind of wish would happen. Because what Josh had said, I kind of wish would actually happen. Wouldn't it be interesting to see a heel Tommy Dreamer? You don't see them often. He's been a good guy more than he's been a bad guy. Way more. It is like this to like this. Tommy has very rarely been a heel. Very rarely. Doesn't mean he hasn't had done it. But I really, really would like to see him turn heel. That would be something entirely different for him in Impact Wrestling. I think it would be very interesting. But he does say, I think you're on it. I think you're involved in this. I think you knew what was going on. And pretty much once the match was over, Tommy comes out and he said, you know, I'm angry at you. I vouch for you. I stay by your side. And you screwed me. You screwed everybody. I'm telling you right now, we are done as friends. We still got to work together on Busted Open Radio. I will still be a professional with you. We still got to work in the back here as well. But our friendship is finished. I am done. He walks out of the ring, and then Bully does as Bully does. That man grabs a mic, and he shows you why he is still better than the majority of the wrestlers in Impact. Only a few are good, like a Moose. I'm sorry. As much as anybody want to say they really love a lot of people there, Moose is one of the only ones there who has such strong staying power after all this time. He's that special. He's one of the few there, and that's not really making it all about every last person there sucks. I'm not saying Josh sucks, or Mike Bailey sucks, or Trey sucks. I'm not saying any of that. Gunjar, I'm not saying he sucks. I'm not saying that Matt Cardona or Brian Myers or any of them suck. But the way Impact has booked these people, everyone is saying you can't book mid-card talent. Yes, you can. How do you think they get over? This is what I left a comment on one of my videos earlier today when I had to go to my doctor. I looked at my phone and I saw somebody talking about this guy's why, because it was involving what happened with Chris Jericho and Andretti. And he's basically, why are you doing this? Why did they even put over Orange Cassidy? He's nothing. He can never be a main event. But the problem that person doesn't get, and many people who watch these videos, not just mine, but anyone else, they keep thinking that person has to be in the main event. This has never been about the main event. As I did Booking the Wrestler videos, if you've ever heard me do them, look through my videos and look for Booking the Wrestler and either Impact Edition or AEW Edition. I book these people to be relevant, not main eventers. This is what people don't understand. To be in the industry, you want to be paid good. Yes, you want exposure, but you want to be relevant. You don't have to be in the main event to be relevant. There are a lot of wrestlers who got legendary status because they knew how to be relevant. Not main eventers, not getting the biggest scratch. And when you look at Bully Ray, he's one of those people, whether you like him or not, as an old WWE guy, or old ECW guy, or an old TNA guy. It doesn't matter. He knows how to make himself relevant. And what he said was relevant. He said, get the hell out of my ring. Don't stop. Fine, this is what you want to do. Just make sure you keep walking. Because I want to tell you this. Devon may have been in my shadow, but you were 10 steps back there because you were always jealous of me. You never were better than me in ECW. You were never better than me in WWE. You were never better than me in Impact Wrestling. You have never been better. And he got pissed. Tommy. Not something Tommy hasn't gone through before. But when Tommy walked back in the ring, he wanted to tell him off and particularly talk about his mother who's sick in the hospital. And he starts crying. I don't know how many of you would feel. But now, in legitimacy, if his mother is in the hospital, I hope she gets better. But he decided to use his actual life with his mother in this segment. Not everyone's willing to do that. Understand, guys, there are reasons. Like one other I think that same person said that only thing we get in AEW is people like when it came to Ruby Soho and to Saraya. We got only storylines of people getting hurt. That's all we get. Well, understand, this has been going on for more than 70 years where wrestlers do get hurt. And they do their best to turn shit into lemonade. They try to make a negative into a positive. So not only that person, if they come back, they can use that to get their relevancy back, get bigger money, and to be more loved. That is part of pro wrestling. If you don't understand, it's not something everybody wants, but it happens. Look what happened with Eddie Edwards and Sami Callihan. Sami accidentally whacked Eddie in the eye, broke his orbital bone, and made his eye look bad. And they used that for almost a year and a half after Eddie managed to recover. And it was some of the most entertaining parts of Impact Wrestling. Nobody wanted to see Eddie hurt, and I'm sure Sami wasn't happy to hurt Eddie. These guys may not always like each other, but they don't want to hurt each other because they know hurting one another loses money, and they can lose friendships and legitimacy if they really mean it. If they don't mean it, it's understandable, but you get my point. And in this situation, Tommy brought his real mother into it. He was ready at that point when he heard a bully say, I don't give a damn about your mother. He was ready to fight. He said, let's go. Let me show you what I can do. I used to be the innovator of violence. I will show you how truly violent I'm going to be. And the one thing that Bully Ray said before that happened, which was very good, he said, you'll never be like me. Look at me. I got myself in the best shape of my life. What are you? A big, fat, damn old blob. Now, I'm not saying that Tommy is fat. I'm not saying he hasn't tried to get in shape. People, they could be in great shape and still look chubby. That's how it is. That's how it works. But that part, along with his mother, could make you very emotional about it. You would feel sympathy for Tommy. But like I said before I even said this, I would like to see Tommy turn heel. something entirely different that Impact actually needs. They need to flip the script. Now, it doesn't mean Tommy will want to do it, but at this point, they need something new from Impact. But that's just me. Tommy wants to fight. Bully doesn't. He walks away. Let's move on. The contract signing between Jordan Grace and the James, who is on her last rodeo. Now, was this a good segment? It was alright. It was fine. Once Tasha Steelz came into the picture, I'm going like, oh no. What are they doing now? Are they going to do a WWE poll thing, like a Vince thing? And they did. Because Tasha said, and I quote, almost quote, you said, Mickey, you're going to go after everybody? I'm still the one you have not gone after because I've beaten your ass twice. You have not beat me and you're doing this? No. You're not done what you're done. You're not done. And then Mickey says, you know what? You're right. I have gone for you. I still got a month. We can do this. Let's go. And then Jordan basically said, no. She don't need to do that. I want her healthy at Hard to Kill. You will go for me. And Mickey gets offended because she thinks, just like in the very beginning of that contract signing, when Jordan said, I don't need to say anything. I would do what I need to say in the ring. And Mickey's pretty much saying, you think I can't do this? You don't want to say it now. You think that I'm going to be done. Everyone always underates. Well, the reason I'm botching here is because now, instead of Mickey having a singles match with Tasha before Hard to Kill, which could be the week before it, I'm not too fond of it, but it's all right. You having a tag match, Tasha Steelz with Savannah Evans versus Mickie James and Jordan Grace. And what did Scott say? Let's see if you two can work together. Can they coexist? Does that sound familiar to you? Does that sound familiar to you guys? Tell me. Oh, sorry. All of this here. But does that sound familiar to you? Like a Vince McMahon booking. Maybe because they heard Vince may want to go back into the WWE, they said, Vince may try to get back. We need to make sure that we're still using some of his material. Let's do the coexist thing with these four. Let's make sure we show Vince and Kenny McMahon that we're in his corner. He's got to get back into the WWE. You already know how I feel in a sense about Vince, but I am considering doing a Gump report on him as well as Mandy Rose eventually. I'm not doing it now. I want to wait at least nearly a few more days to a week to see if any new information is going to come out about Mandy and anything new comes about Vince. I want to at least know what's going on. I don't want to have it half-assed, okay? If it's not this week coming in, I'm going to probably try and do it by that Friday before New Year's Eve. I mean, not New Year's Eve, Christmas Eve, sorry. I want to see if I can do it then, if there'll be anything. But, you get my point. Now, Gazelle Shaw dressed up, and I forgot the guy, his name is Val? I think his name is Val. I've only seen him a couple of times, I keep forgetting his name. They need to show him more on TV. If that's her man that she has by her side, that he's does her hair, carries her clothes, makes sure she looks good, they need to do it more often. He needs to come down to the ring more. He needs to be her manager. That's the way it should be. But she approaches Deonna Purrazzo and then decides to do the one thing you would think shouldn't be done. Because Deonna should be a singles competitor right now. But there's no Chelsea Green. Either she had a problem, or she was hurt, or she is not signed anymore. Because maybe she's finished with Impact. You never know the way Impact is, or way she was, because she knows she wasn't going to get that much out of Impact anyway. Gazelle wants to be a partner. She wants a partner. She wants a partner with, well, she says, let's go after the titles. Really? They have so few women in Impact Wrestling. And if anybody says, oh, dude, don't worry, they got this set. No, they have very few women in Impact that can double into singles and the tag. Why don't you have more independent wrestlers come in and fill in the gaps. So when you have to do double work, you make these women look like they're important. Instead of always doing the same stupid thing, rematches over and over again with the same damn women. I love the knockouts in Impact Wrestling. They're some of the best damn wrestlers you get in pro wrestling. But what happened in 2020 during the pandemic? They had no choice but to use the same 12 women because there was no other women they could get. Because they still didn't know how to be able to deal with the virus. That's understandable. It wasn't great. But here, it's gotten better. They could bring in more women to fill in as tag. They're going to different places. They were in Florida, for goodness sake. Not far from NXT and any other promotions. Are you telling me they could not book more women, particularly counting on how long they're going to stay in Florida or wherever they're going to move on next? You can't tell me they cannot get women to tag for the division, for the knockouts, so it doesn't look so damn small. It is freaking annoying that I see the same women over and over again. And I seem to be the only one who says something. I'm sure no one else says it. I'm moving on. We got the major players versus Decay. Now, what did we really get in this? We get more about Trey than we get about the major players. The major players won this match, but this isn't about the match. This is about Trey attacking a Crazy Steve and tagging his back. And I'm going like, they really are pushing a Trey Miguel being a damn mean-ass bastard and is willing to do whatever the hell he wants, be like a thug in the streets from New York or from Cali. Okay, that's a nice change from Trey being a rascal to just Trey Miguel that is pretty much the X Division champion to this, a good progression. I care more about this than I care about what he's been going through before. He feels better now. He feels more interesting. Now, Skylar and Notch. I gotta say this about John Skylar, and I can't remember. I think his name is Jonathan Notch. I haven't seen much of him. I've seen Skylar Bailey because he's most of the time on BTI. And I don't watch BTI. I don't got time to watch BTI. You don't have that many people, Impact Wrestling, that are fresh-faced and new. You keep them mostly on BTI. Or they only do a few tapings, and guess what? They leave. And whose fault is it, ladies and gentlemen? Don't tell me these people just don't want to stay. There is a reason they don't stay. There is a reason that Impact Wrestling is not a place to stay at for most wrestlers. There's got to be a reason. You tell me. Tell me below what you think is the major reason. Because it's not just about the wrestlers wrestling at Impact Wrestling. Come on. Come on, there's got to be more. It's got to be more. It's got to be money and it's got to be booking. Management is the issue for me personally. But what do you think it is? But now they want to stick them together as a tag team. And I forgot what they said. The hand, they're supposed to be the great hand, the good hand. So now what they're going to be known as the good hands or something. It's good to see they're going to put them together in a tag team because they need tag teams in Impact Wrestling. But it's like, these guys should have been on Impact for quite a while now. Why hasn't Jonathan Skylar been shown more on Impact? Why haven't Notch been shown? He's been part of Gut Check for a while. What about the other two guys from Gut Check? What are they doing? I mean, I know they probably still need training, but we haven't seen them. This is what happens when you don't have people from Gut Check that they're supposed to be brought in for Impact, like a Tough Enough. I'm just saying. Now, we got Sami Callihan versus Angels from the Design. Guys, this was not about Sami winning. This was about making it more important that Diener is in charge. That's what this was all about. And I'm fine with that. And it made me happy to see that this time, instead of helping Khan, in other words, Angels, and he had to help Khan last week, which I didn't want him to do. I wanted him never to touch any of those guys to help. In other words, never the other wrestlers. He doesn't need to. He doesn't really need to unless it's something important. Khan needed to just win. And then when you see Angels here, he needed to win. And he wasn't. It took Khan to help. And that's fine. Because let Khan or Angels be the ones to touch the opponent. Not Diener. He's the design. He doesn't need to touch anyone. Only when it's necessary does the design need to touch anyone. He's got to be better than Eric Young. So he shouldn't even need to touch anybody until it's a high-profile match. He does win. Sammy does the Cactus Driver. I always say Cactus Driver 97 wrong. But essentially, he wins, but then gets laid out by Khan. And then you see Diener saying, good. He's taking ownership of now his position. Doesn't mean it's good yet? No. He's only done it a couple of times. And I think he needs to start learning to refine how he's going to be the leader and how he's going to be able to present himself to the fans on TV and at the venue wherever they are. He's got to get a certain flair and style for being like a sadistic bastard, like a Bray Wyatt, like a Joe Gacy. He needs to start developing that. And I do believe he can do it. Okay. Gunther and Joe Henry. I'm checking to see if he's in my apartment. But we get, and I know the one who's there. You know who you are. You know who you are. Ziggler Dice and Johnny Swinger in the match. And they try to make it very apparent that Swinger has to win 50 matches. Suppose he won 39 already throughout the... He had 39, won in 97, I think. No, 91. 39 wins, one, like, when was it? When did he do that? When did he have, like, a draw? And then 91 losses, supposedly. And they're talking about him getting his 50 wins so he can get a title shot. And I'm going like, there is no way he's just going to win clean here. Someone's got to be interfering. And guess what happened? Moose comes out to try and nail Joe. And Joe says, this is not fair. This is not right. I should not have to work on these conditions, trying to be attacked by someone while I'm in a match like this. He leaves. And leaves Gunther by himself, which he wins. I'm sorry, dude. He lost. And yes, people are going to say, dude, it don't matter because this is a tag match. But it does matter. It's going to be counted. Guys, there are two ways they're going to try and get him to 50 if they're going to do it. One, accumulated wins doesn't matter if it's in a tag, in a 6-man tag, and just a regular tag, 6-man tag, 8-man tag, 10-man tag, and regular singles. They're going to count it all. He's got 39 wins. He has to get 50. Now, either they're going to count the 39 wins he has and just add the remaining 19 or 20. What was it? 39. He's got like 19 more wins to go or something. I don't remember. I'm bad with numbers. I got a headache right here. This sinus is giving me a headache. I think it's 19 wins he's got to get, or at least 19 wins. 19, yeah. But the point here is that they're either going to do that, or they're going to do only singles wins, only counted. Either going to count to 39, getting to 50, or they're going to have to count 50 wins straight. They better book him right. Because right now he just lost before the end of the year. And they still only have a few months that goes into each year to do either Slammiversary, which will be a stupid time to do it, or if they really wanted to make this interesting and annoying everybody who can't stand Johnny Swinger, next year, count if he doesn't get hurt, and whoever is still the champ, if it's Josh or whoever, will be a Bound for Glory. That will piss everybody's ass off, and I will laugh my ass off. Not because it's funny, but because Impact Wrestling actually went there and did it. I'm just saying. Final match I'm going to talk about will be Motor City Machine Guns versus Heath and Rhino. Look, I'm not even going to talk about the match. They won it. Motor City Machine Guns lost the opportunity last week to win the titles because of interference by major players. And basically, they get a chance again to do it. And Major Players is easily banned from ringside. They're banned. But then I'm thinking, they wouldn't be crazy enough to let them have this before the end of the year, would they? No. Yes, they did. Let me get this straight. What did we just have? Didn't we just have an Impact Plus show about a month or so ago? Overdrive? Couldn't you just give it to them? Could you have not booked the Motor City Machine Guns in the situation they were in and just let them win then? Why here? You actually think, and I'm saying this honestly, you guys can tell me below, do you actually believe they're going to make any type of headway letting the Motor City Machine Guns win on an Impact that's near the end of the year? Honestly. Are you guys happy seeing them there? Or would it have been better to actually do it at Overdrive? To be honest, it would have been better at Overdrive, and they start building a feud that's good for the new champs who are not only the New Japan Pro Strong Tag Champions, I think that's a heavyweight or a lightweight champions, I don't know, and now the Impact champions. Do I care? No. Why would I care now, near the end of the year, where this could have been put on a plus show, and even though they wouldn't have a huge amount of, you know what happened at that show, I did my review, and it sucked because of the quality of the production. But still, the wrestling was good, the backstage were good, at least they would have done it, I'm just saying. But this is how I feel about it. Peace.